Two of the best programs in college basketball history are going to face off in Atlanta on Tuesday as Mark Pope and his Kentucky Wildcats go to take on the Duke Blue Devils. It's going to be a fun game. I'm fired up about it. I know everybody, whether you're a Duke fan, whether you're a Kentucky fan, whether you're a Louisville fan trying to feel better about the loss the other day, whatever reason you're tuned into this podcast, you're fired up about this basketball game. Frankly, maybe you're just a college basketball fan. And we're going to break down every aspect of this game on today's episode of the Wildcats Today podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Stefaniak, writer and editor over at Kentucky Wildcats on SI, joined, as always, by my co-host, Carson Nash, who's always a little bit more fired up when a basketball game against Duke is happening. Carson, how we doing?
Yeah, I'm excited. I know it's Monday, and I want to thank all the veterans. It's Veterans Day, so thank you for your service for this awesome country. But yeah, I'm pumped. Normally Mondays, I'm like, it's a Monday. But when you got Duke tomorrow night in the Champions Classic, there's always a reason to get excited. So big things coming.
Last time the Cats played in Atlanta was when we played North Carolina last year. We were both at that game. Man, that was fun. And I bet you the atmosphere, Carson still got it, first of all. But I'll tell you this. The atmosphere at that game was amazing. North Carolina, obviously, Durham and Chapel Hill are very, very close to one another. I figure you're going to have a similar split between Kentucky fans and North Carolina fans, and Duke fans, excuse me. It's going to be interesting to see, Carson, what with this game being a Tuesday, what this looks like. That game was obviously on a Saturday, but if I know Big Blue Nation, I know sick days will be used. So I think you're going to see a great atmosphere for the first real big game of the Mark Pope era. But before we get into Duke, we're just been a couple minutes talking about what we saw against Bucknell. Carson, the number one thing for me, I love this more than anything I've seen from this team or a Kentucky team in a long time. Mark Pope identified a problem, which frankly wasn't even a massive issue yet, the rebounding. Yep. He wanted to get better on the glass, especially the offensive glass. And I'll tell you this, was I super concerned about it after the Wright State game? No. But Mark Pope was, and he's your head basketball coach. And he said it was an issue. What does Kentucky do? They go out against Bucknell, and they out-rebound the Bison by a ton. The numbers here, Kentucky had 22 offensive boards compared to 12 for Bucknell. And then I think you flat out rebounded them. They had 35 total rebounds to your 57. So you just dominated on the glass. And I love that. Coach Pope identified a problem in his eyes. I don't even think a lot of people were concerned about it. Problem in his eyes, and his team fixed it. And I love that. So what stood out to you about this game, Carson?
No, yeah, I'm going to piggyback off that first. We even talked about it a little bit. We were saying if we nitpicked it all against Wright State, it would have been that our offensive rebounding needed to improve, or rebounding in general. And you saw us dominate a game when their big guy was known as a good big guy, and they rebound the ball pretty well. And you just took them completely out of the offensive glass there. And caused them not to be able to get many second chance opportunities. So that's huge. That's crucial. And I think Pope really wanted to see that before Duke, because we all know Duke's huge, their size, and they rebound really, really well. So being able to get ahead of that is huge for us before Tuesday.
Yeah. Piggybacking kind of off what you said, talking about the big guy for Bucknell, 7'2" Williamson from Latvia, that dude, he was averaging 25.5 points heading into this game. He had 32 in his previous game, and the first game of the year he had 19. So, once again, the dude was averaging 25.5 points per game, two games into the year, but he had looked great. He was the best player on this team. Kentucky holds him to 3 of 12 from the field. And I wrote about this in kind of like the post-game takeaways article I wrote. Is like, hey, if you can take a team's best player away, that's awesome. That's what Bill Belichick does. It's what Bill Belichick used to always be. Oh, you can't start your RB1 in fantasy this week, or your wide receiver 1, because it's Bill Belichick, and they're going to shut him down. Obviously, you play your guy. But you get what I'm saying. If Kentucky can be that team where they shut down your guy, It'd be awesome. And
Yeah.
I figured we would see that, Carson, when it came to the guard play because of the one and the only Lamont Butler. But if Amari Williams and Brandon Garrison can shut down big guys down low, think how important that'll be in this game against Duke. They've got a great big guy. You've got some other good big guys in the SEC in games you'll play all season. So point is, if you can see some dominance shutting down good big guys, it's even better for this basketball team. So that had me fired up, Carson.
Well, yeah. Well, I was getting ready to talk about Amari Williams, and it might be a little too early to tab him as this, but in my opinion, this is a little bit of a hot take here. I think he's the X factor for this team. I think he's the guy because, I mean, look at it. He runs breaks. He's a great passer, and defensively being able to take a big man who is the other team's best player completely out of the game and forcing him to be a 3-point only. Like he couldn't get anything inside. Like he shot 8 3-pointers, and that just wasn't his game coming into this game.
Some of them were ugly.
Yeah. And he had a quick trigger too. He's like 14 for Wright State. Both of them got the itis there for a little bit, just kept chucking. But I think Amari Williams is this team's X factor. And when he's on the court, this team is really, really hard to beat.
I agree. I'm with you on that. The other standout in this game to me, I mean, Kobe Bryant, dude, holy heck. 7 of 11 from the field, 6 of 8 from deep, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 20 points. The dude is efficient. I mean, it's not like he's scoring 20 points with 19 shots. He's doing it on 11. I mean, it is efficient. It is the Reed Shepard efficiency that we got used to last season. Kobe Bryant is a darn good player. I mean, and just knowing that you have him and then a Kirk Kriisa who gives you 12 assists off the bench. I mean, these guys are coming off the bench. This is so impressive to me. I mean, Almanor comes off the bench and gives you 9 points. He's a guy for this team. He's not going.
Oh, yeah. With great motor, Almanor's a beast.
I mean, everything. Colin Chandler did some stuff well.
He had 2 steals back to back. I know he's struggling a little more, but again, he's a freshman. But what I love about him is his ability to make plays without scoring. I think that can get you a lot farther, and the shots will fall. He hit a 3 in the game.
He was 2 or 3 from the field.
He was 2 or 3. He didn't take as many shots, but he was doing everything right. Yeah. I mean, he was where he needed to be at the right times. He just wasn't taking control of the game.
There's going to be a Colin Chandler game this year. I can kind of feel it. I have a feeling. But I mean, and then even, Otega Owe kind of struggled a little bit in this game, 4 of 11 from the field.
Yeah, but it was you called it. You called it last game because he went 0 for 4 from 3. Yeah. So if he makes 2 of his 3-pointers, he's looking at 16 points instead of 10. So
yeah, I mean, it's to me, I the thing about Otega Owe is I think he needs to get downhill. Now, once again, and this is the same thing I said after he shot the ball well and when he was 3 for 3. I don't think that's his game. It is not a beautiful 3-point shot. It's just not. Shoot your shot. I get that. Do the, don't change your golf swing. Don't play the slice. I get it. Shoot your shot. I agree with what he's doing. But I'm just telling you, if it's wide open, shoot it. I'm not telling him to turn down open threes. But if you can get someone on a ball fake and get to the rim, I think that needs to be what Otega Owe is doing on a more consistent basis. He's just so good getting downhill.
I found something interesting from this team that I just want to hear your thoughts on it. Mm-hmm. So in the past, we've all heard of Cal trying to fix players' jump shots at UK. He would bring a guy in and try to fix his jump shot. I mean, we got some, like, Otega's jumper is a little wonky. Ainsley shoots the ball like a knuckleball. And, like, we've got some dudes who, like, might not have the most orthodox jump shots, but they go in. So, like, maybe there was never a reason to change someone's jump shot. Like, maybe just let people shoot their shots and it'll work out okay.
I'm just telling you, I've learned that shooting basketball. I mean, I don't shoot a basketball how you're supposed to. To me, it's all hand-eye coordination. It really is. To me, shooting is hand-eye coordination. There are shooting coaches. There are people that disagree with that. I think it's all hand-eye coordination. It really is. And how you do it. It's the means to an end. It's getting to a result. I don't think how you do it matters. I think it's that you're doing it. And I'm a believer in shoot your shot. Now, sometimes I'll see shot form. What I don't like is slow shot form. Slow shot form. That I don't like.
Yeah.
And I think that Ortega's a little bit slow. Almanor, I think he's kind of in the middle.
No, I honestly think Almanor has a pretty quick trigger. I don't have a knock of his being slow at all. Ortega, you're right. His has a little hitch in it.
And
when it's
slow to me is what I don't like. But the problem is speeding people up is hard. It's hard to speed up a jump shot. I mean, that's just it's not easy to speed up a jump shot. But if you don't speed it up, sometimes you're going to get shots blocked. You're going to see stuff like that happen. But Ortega, if he's open, I think he needs to shoot it. If he's not open, I think you need to pump fake and take it to the rim or pass. I think that's what he needs to do. But we're not going to see. None of us are worried about Ortega Oweh. I think he's going to be just fine. And it's not like it was the worst day ever.
I thought we were a little sloppy. We had 15 turnovers. I thought that could have been a little better. To only 23 assists. 23 assists is still pretty good, but 15 turnovers is too much. I thought we still passed the ball well, even with the turnovers. I think it was just a sloppy game from our guys. I think you can tell that the crowd and the players kind of wanted to play someone bigger. Like Saturday, Rupp was filled, but it just didn't feel like a Rupp environment, And I think everyone's just awaiting this game Tuesday night just to be the full experience. Yeah. But other than nitpicking a little bit on the turnovers, I thought it was a really well played game. I thought we moved the ball really well. There's that video of us having like 3 no-look passes to a three-pointer. Like, who is this? The Golden State Warriors? Like, this is awesome. Yeah. Compare that to what you saw against you see Arkansas against Baylor on Saturday night, and let me know who you like more. Yeah, I thought we played pretty good. No complaints. Definitely farther along than I thought at this point we would be at. So moving into Duke, do you have anything else?
That's pretty much all I would say in this game. The turnovers, all I'll say about that is I agree. You'd love to keep it under 10. Turnovers are a natural part of basketball. It's really hard to keep the turnover number under like 6 or 7. The goal is to be in that 5 to 10 range, I think.
Yeah.
It's too many. It's 5 too many to me. Limit those turnovers because I look at it as that's 5 shots. And when a team that shoots the ball at a high percentage as us, you look at 5 shots. Let's say we shoot 50% from the field. Let's say 3 of them are threes, 2 of them are twos, whatever. You could be leaving 8 points on the floor.
And 5 possessions where your defense probably isn't set.
Exactly. So limit turnovers. I'm not concerned about it. Kentucky was pretty good about limited turnovers last year, and then they'd have a game here and there. And I think sometimes Kentucky tries to do too much, and I think that kind of bit them a little bit in this game. They try to do too much. Yeah. And I think against Duke, they're going to kind of tighten up a little bit. They're not going to try and do too much. I think they're going to try and do the bare minimum, which is more.
Yeah.
But getting into Duke, I just don't know. I just don't know how to feel about this game. I think Kentucky can win. I kind of think Kentucky's going to win, but I do not feel confident in saying.
Yeah.
So, I know you feel the same way. So, I assume you feel the same way there, but what do you believe is going to be the difference maker in this game?
Oh, I think Con Nipple.
I thought it was
Knuppel. Whatever. However you say his name.
That guy.
Walmart Reed Shepard.
Wow. There's the bulletin board. You are now in Duke's locker room.
Well, to be fair, he's got to prove himself, right? Reed proved himself. But he's the X factor. As much as people want to talk about Cooper Flagg, that's the dude you got to stop. Cooper Flagg's good, but this kid's the difference in between a win and a loss. So if you let this kid go for 20, I doubt you're going to beat Duke. But if you can limit him and make him be more inefficient, because he's he's an efficient player. He really does play a lot like Reed Shepard. He's a very efficient guy. I like him. I hate Duke, but I like him. He's a good player. he's their guy. I know Coop is the number one pick. Coop, everyone's talking about Coop. He's a beast. You can't let Coop go for 40, right? But I don't think he will. This is the guy that
I think Cooper Flagg is incredibly overrated.
You think so?
No, I'm just kidding around. I just wanted people to get really mad for like 5 seconds. Go ahead. I was kidding.
I think our size and our experience is going to be the difference in this game. I think we're a little more physical than they are. They're young. I think early in the season, I think this is the time to get them if you're going to get them. So I would give the edge to Kentucky. I'm not feeling great about it, but I just feel with the experience, the way you've been playing, the way you've been moving the ball, the team chemistry already, like I'm definitely going to bet Kentucky plus 5.5. That is definitely going to get bet on.
I'm just telling you, looking at, I just have the weirdest feeling about this game. I think, and what I've said, we've now seen Duke play, we've now seen Kentucky. I'll say the same thing I've said for weeks, for months, is Duke is young. They have, all of Kentucky's players have played on a bright stage in some capacity. Duke's players really, they played Army and they played Maine. They really haven't played any kind of crazy, environment yet. Obviously, neither is Kentucky when it comes to this season, but these players have played in big games. You talk about Creasa and Butler and Brea. All of these guys have played in a tournament. They've all played. Pretty much every player on this team has played significant basketball. Ainsley Almenar's played against Zach Edey. Every Jackson Robinson's played in the tournament. You've seen people. All of these players have played in big games. And some might say it doesn't matter. I think it does matter. I think it makes a significant difference. I think Kentucky's experience in big games is going to give them an edge in this game. Who's the more talented team? Once again, this isn't even a debate. It's not a debate. Duke is more talented when it comes to NBA. When it comes to college basketball, I think Kentucky's got the better. Potentially, we have to see. We played 2 games. But college basketball team. You've got 9 NBA all-stars on this team, sure, and that's great, okay? It's great. But it doesn't always pan out. It reminds me of some of the best Kentucky teams, some of the best Duke teams lose in the Sweet 16, round of 32, Elite 8, that have the most talent of anybody, because that's not the only thing that matters in college basketball. It's just not. So that's kind of where my head's at on this, Carson.
Yeah, I think my biggest takeaway from this game is going to be rebounding. I think rebounding is huge. Duke kind of ran themselves into another Mark Williams, K-Man Malak. I think that's how you pronounce the name. Sorry if that's incorrect. But he's huge. He's 7'2". He's very physical. He's tall.
Yeah, he was after him for a while.
Yeah, I'd say where I think we can get him though is the pace of the play, because I don't think he's conditioned enough to play a ton of minutes against a team that fires as quickly as we do.
Yeah.
But you're really going to have to get him out of his zone where he's in the paint is his zone. Like that's where he owns. So if you can get him switching off screens on the guards on the perimeter, that's where you want to be. But you can't let him get comfortable, and you're going to have to win the rebounding because you're going to want as many shots as you can get against Duke. So I think that's the biggest key to the game.
I think the other thing I'll say too is I'd say punch him in the mouth early.
Yeah.
I think with a young team like this, if you punch them in the mouth, it's going to be hard for them to. They haven't been punched in the mouth before. Once again, Kentucky hasn't been punched in the mouth this year either, but they have been all these players in their careers. They know how to respond if they get punched in the mouth. This team does not. Punch them in the mouth. They're extremely young. Go up, start this game 17-7. You know what I mean? Go and then run away. I think punch them in the mouth will help you get the win. I don't know how I feel if this thing is close the whole way. Now, I also think advantage Kentucky when it comes to finishing in the last 4 minutes of a big-time basketball game. Every college basketball advantage that you can have, I think, is in this team's favor except for NBA talent. It's the only, you know what I mean? So That's how I look at this team.
I really want to see how Duke defends because, I mean, you're right. They haven't really played anybody. It's going to be interesting to see how on-ball defense is for them. Because if they're not very good on ball, it could be a long night for Duke.
Yeah. And once again, I mean, we're not saying Kentucky's played anybody. Neither of these.
No, we haven't played anybody, but our players have played in college
basketball. That's exactly. That's one of the premise. That's what we're saying.
Yeah.
These players have played in these moments. So, I just that's what it's going to come down to. I think slow and flag. I'm a little more on the slow and flag because here's the deal. This has the stage for the number 1 overall pick written all over it. This has Cooper Flagg against Kentucky, 32 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 blocks, 4 steals written all over it. You know, because this is his. Here I am, mother truckers. I'm Cooper Flagg. I'm the number 1 pick.
Yeah, but in my opinion, I'm fine with that. I honestly, it might sound crazy. I'd let Cooper get 30 as long as Con doesn't go crazy because Cooper is not the just chuck it up from 3 guy. He's going to work inside, get his 2 points. We can beat them. If we limit them to 2-pointers, we can beat them. We just can't have guys getting on fire from the outside. You know, our offense is good. Like we're going to score points. We just have to limit them where like, I just feel like Con is the X factor for them.
Yeah.
If he goes crazy, I don't think we can win.
I agree with you on that. I have a feeling this has the writing all over the wall.
I just think Flagg's going to get his regardless. Like Flagg's going to get 14, 16 points no matter what.
Yeah.
It's just, can we limit Con to not doing that?
Yeah. I'm with you. I am with you. Carson, do you got a player of the game and a score prediction for this game?
Yeah. Oh gosh. I'm gonna let you go first this time.
All right. I'm trying to think. I mean, I think on the bright stage, you need your best player to show up. And while one thing I've been adamant about this week in general has been, I don't think Kentucky has a best player. I think we thought they did, and we thought it was Jackson Robinson. And I still think Jackson Robinson's our best player. But I also think that this is going to be a team where you have a different leading scorer pretty much, feels like every night. But I just have a feeling this is going to be a game. I mean, Jackson played well. Let me pull up his numbers on the season. Jackson on the season is averaging 11 points. He had 8 in the first game. I remember that. And he had 14 in the game the other day. I just have a feeling this is going to be his 20-point game where I think Jackson Robinson plays great. I think Kentucky, I don't know, man. My brain's telling me to pick Kentucky, but then my body's telling me to take Duke. It's like weird. Like I'm going to take Kentucky. I think it's going to be one of the best games of the year. I think Kentucky wins this game 77-75 in Atlanta with Robinson having 20+ points.
I like it. That would make me happy. Mine is going to be based on what I just talked about. I think Ortega is going to win the player of the game, and that's going to be because he keeps Con in check and he puts up a good game for himself. So I think Ortega is the player of the game. I think the Cats win 87-80, and I think we get it done, and the Mark Pope start just gets even more electrified because, good Lord, can you imagine?
Yeah. And then my only to the Duke fans, I can already see people tweeting at you and me when Duke wins this game by 2 points. And there's no confidence coming from me behind this prediction. You know what I mean? Like,
no one really knows. Like no one's really played anybody.
I don't think anyone can. Either fan base can't feel confident about this game. I think Kentucky sets up better for this game because of their veterans and they play a lot, and they're just the way they play offense and defense. I think they're set up better in this game. I bet you that'd be a different conversation in March or maybe April. But I think for right now, I think this game sets up better for Kentucky than it does Duke. But I could see this going either which way, and it's going to be a damn good basketball game for sure. So, Carson, any other thoughts before we call it a day?
No, that's all I got. It's going to be fun tomorrow night against Duke. And I think part of the reason why you probably don't feel as good about it, like your stomach or whatever is telling you not to pick Kentucky, we've been through a lot of losses in this game very recently. And it's going to feel good to get back in the win column. Let's freaking go, Cats.
Love it. I love it. All right. If you haven't already hit that subscribe button, helps the show a ton. We'll be back with y'all on Thursday with what happened in this game. Hopefully we're really excited.
Yep.
That's the goal, but we'll see. So we'll see y'all on Thursday for that. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Appreciate y'all. Go Cats. And we will see y'all next time right here on the Wildcats Today podcast.